A hypothesis, you might remember from your science class, is an educated guess of what you think might happen based on a situation. Often in science, this is in the terms of an experiment. So if we're told about a situation, we can make a hypothesis of what we think will happen in that situation by making a graph. So here's an example. Every day some flowers are given different amounts of water, ranging from no water to a lot of water. And after 1 month, the height of each flower is measured. Sketch a graph of what you think might happen and explain your thinking. So our first task is to figure out what are the variables. Well, we have, we're told that they measure the height of each flower. So there's one variable. And we're also told that what's changing is the amount of water. So there's our other variable. And using our knowledge of dependent and independent variables, we can see that the height depends on the amount of water that the flower gets. So with that, our next goal is going to be to just sketch some axes that we can use. And this is going to be plant height versus amount of water. And now we come to the next part of our task, which is to sketch what we think is going to happen. So let's just think it through. What sorts of things will happen when we water plants? If a plant gets no water, we can expect that it's not going to grow very high. It might grow a bit though, just sort of based on what sort of moisture is in the soil alone. So even with no water, we might expect the plant to grow a little bit. And then as it gets more and more water, we can probably expect the plants to get healthier and healthier and taller, up until a point where maybe too much water is bad for the plant. So let's try to sketch what this would look like. So again, even with 0 water, the plant probably grows a little bit to a certain height, but then the plant, based on more water it gets, is going to grow higher and higher, and maybe to a point where it starts to level off and you're at the perfect amount of water. And then we're going to get to the point where you add too much water and it starts to get unhealthy and the plant starts to drown. It can't, the soil's no longer at the best amount for it. And so maybe it returns down similar to a spot where it started. And again, this is just a hypothesis, so it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. We just have to justify why we sketched what we did. And so now the important part is to explain our thinking. And so to do this, all we have to really do is make some notes on the graph. So here I will note 0 water, plant still grows. And I'll put a little arrow showing the part that I'm talking about there. And then we could say more water equals healthier plants. For the increase here at the beginning, more water equals healthy plants. And maybe up at the top we could say perfect amount of water for maximum height. And finally, this decline at the end is too much water is bad for the plant. And so that's how we can graph a hypothesis and explain the shape of our hypothesis graph.